we present Escher Tile Deformation via closed-form solution. In this work, we solve a problem where a valid tile is deformed according to user push or pull. In the deformation process, the tile remains valid, which means it can cover the entire plane with no gap or overlap. The input of our system is a valid tessellation of various representations. It can be a 2D mesh, a mask representing one tile, or an entire image of pattern from photography or digital design. The output of the system is deformed tessellation of the same representation. This is a challenging problem for existing deformation methods because a valid tile is like an infinite clock. If one side extrude, there must be another side intrude for the puzzle to remain tileable. Existing deformation methods can easily introduce gaps and overlaps for this task. We propose a closed-form solution to deform tiles based on two observations. First, in order to ensure the deformed shape maintains a valid tile, the displacement field needs to be periodic. Second, mathematical series and tessellation are both studying infinity in the discrete setting. Therefore, it is the suitable tool for the analytical solution. Before diving into the closed-form solution, let's first briefly review some key concepts about symmetry. There exist two types of cone points: gyrational cone point and reflective cone point. Gyrational cone point is the pivot of rotation. It can be of order 2, representing rotation of 180 degrees, order 3, representing rotation of 120 degrees, order 4, representing rotation of 90 degrees, or order 6, representing rotation of 60 degrees. Gyrational cone points are like rosettes, frequently observed in architectural ornaments. Another type of cone points is called the reflective cone point, which means the intersection of mirror lines. Reflective cone points behave like a kaleidoscope. Depending on the number of mirror lines intersecting, they can be of order 2, order 3, order 4, or order 6 on the Euclidean plane. In addition to cone points, other existing operations on the Euclidean plane include translation and glide reflection. In this example, glide reflection means that you cannot find a mirror line between the left-facing and right-facing dogs without gliding one of the dogs along the mirror line. It is possible to rely on cone points and mirror lines to describe symmetry on the Euclidean plane. This is called the orbifold signature. For example, the logo of SIGGRAPH contains a gyrational cone point of order 2. Therefore, from the SIGGRAPH logo, we can create patterns of different wallpaper groups that involve a gyrational cone point of order 2. Using the logo, we can easily create a group 2222. Mirror lines are not that hard to arrange. For example, we can create a group 22 star by introducing parallel mirror lines. Create a group 2 star 22 by introducing intersecting mirror lines. Or a group 22 cross by introducing glide reflection. There only exists 17 symmetry types that tiles the Euclidean plane periodically. They are known as the 17 wallpaper group. The earliest efforts from graphics community to study the 17 wallpaper groups traces back to 1975 in Howard Alexander's work, The Computer Plotter and the 17 Ornamental Design Types, from the second annual SIGGRAPH. If a tessellation is periodic, it is always possible to cover the entire plane solely with pure translation with a cluster of tiles. All the tessellations representable with wallpaper groups belong to the family of periodic tiling. As such, translation is inevitable. Such pure translations lie on a regular lattice grid. There exists 3 types of the lattice cells: rectangle, hexagon, and parallelogram. They are also known as tetragonal lattice, hexagonal lattice, and monoclinic lattice. Our goal is to deform the tile so that the result remains a valid tile, using a closed-form solution. Assuming we know which wallpaper group a pattern is, we would automatically know what's the lattice cell look like. Based on our observation that the displacement field also needs to be a periodic function, we only need to work on the closed-form solution within one cycle of the function. The deformation process therefore follows a four-step recipe. First, place cone points and mirror lines. Second, place pure translation lattice grid. Third, place a point handle and a vector representing the push or pull, force load, associated with the handle. Fourth, deform the entire tessellation according to the user input. The key is leveraging the lattice structure to decompose pure translation from the other transformations. For example, if we want to lift the bicep of the cartoon lamp, knowing it is of wallpaper group 4*2 means we know its pure translation lies on a square-shaped grid. It helps us to determine the displacement at certain locations on the pattern that we call the guidance field. All that's needed to be done from here is to figure out a reasonable color map that models how the force load changes. To achieve that effect, we associate to each control point a falloff function to model how the force load changes. This way, as the point handle repeats infinitely with the tessellation, the impact of forces pointing each direction can be computed with a geometric series, which has a closed-form solution. There are in total 3 closed-form solutions we derived that can thoroughly handle all 17 wallpaper group. Because each wallpaper group fall into one of the categories of tetragonal lattice, hexagonal lattice, or monoclinic lattice with proper coordinate transformations. Let's look at what we can do with our new tool. The angel is probably bored with the style of her old dress. We can help her change it. Or, maybe, sometimes the devil needs to occupy increased area. Or otherwise, we want the angel to be predominant. Artists can create stylized facial animation featuring a pattern with the proposed method. Our tool is intuitive to use. Users can pick a point handle on the tile preview window and drag it as they wish. As the mouse was released, the entire pattern gets deformed. Space key is used to toggle between point handle selection mode and dragging mode. Here shows some demos. If you can't wait to try it, check out our submitted sample GUI. We are still working on further improving the runtime and robustness, but a sample version has been attached within the submission. The implementation is fully done with Python. Therefore, it is trivial to use across different operating systems. Thanks for watching.